Utsanamanda, 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 Utsanamanda. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. I'm going to be your MC and the officiant for this service. We've just rung the temple bell. We've just rung the kansho. I will now do the invocation Sanbujo, which is the formal invocation. The English translation is the 3 respectful callings. If you know the second half, you're welcome to sing along with me. We respectfully call upon the Tathagata Amida, the Tathagata Shakyamuni, the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter this place of practice, joyfully scattering flowers of welcome. Namo Amida. Let's chant the sutra, Sanbutsuge, the hymn in praise of Amida Buddha. Oops, wrong slide. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In, 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 out. and out. As you breathe in, you'll feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. No. They don't teach you how to carry a computer when you're in your ceremonial robes, so I have to try this. Let's see. Sound in. Live from Makawao, it's Children's Dharma Story Time, starring Barkley the dog and Lucy the ladybug. Oops. Good morning. Aloha kakahiaka. Hey sensei, it's not morning. Good afternoon. Aloha. I don't know how to say that in Hawaiian. Konnichiwa. It's me, Barkley the dog. How y'all doing today? Mahalo for joining us here in historic Makawao town, the beautiful island of Maui in the great state of Hawaii. Now, let me show you, let me introduce you to my love of my life, Lucy the ladybug. Good afternoon. Aloha kako, aloha for everyone. I'm so happy to see all of you here this morning. Hey Barkley, what do you say we put on our magic glasses from Maui Optics and see who's here with us this morning? Wow, that's a great idea. Well, let's see here in person. Who we got here? Is that Kenneth and Wesley and, oh, somebody's hiding. Wait a minute. Let's see, we got Sierra and Lindsay's over there somewhere. I don't know where she went. Okay, but anyway, with my magic glasses, I can see Elias, Emily, Kalina, Tyrus, Tori, Benji, Lennon, Kava, Guy, Amy, Micah, Lauren, Nolan, and Cora, and Lala, Noah, and Lily Adam, and Yamamoto, Kusaka, get you here, and Melody, and Cadence in Honolulu, Madison in Colorado, and Sensei buddies around the world. Hey, wait, mahalo for joining us. Thank you for joining the fun. We got a great story for y'all today. That's right, Berkeley. It's one of Sensei's favorite stories. It's called The Rabbit in the Moon. Once upon a time, the old man of the moon looked down into a big forest on the earth. He saw a rabbit, a monkey, and a fox. Living together in the forest as very good friends. Now, I wonder which of them is the kindest, the old man said to himself. I think I'll go down and see. So he changed himself into an old beggar and came down from the moon to the forest where the three friends were. Please help me, he said to them. I'm very, very hungry. Oh, what a poor old beggar, said the three friends, and they went off hurrying
to find some food for him. The monkey found and brought the beggar a lot of fruit. And the fox caught a big fish for him to eat. But the rabbit just couldn't find anything at all to bring. Oh my, what shall I do? The rabbit cried. But just then he had an idea. Please, Mr. Monkey, the rabbit said, gather some firewood for me. And please, Mr. Fox, make a big fire with the firewood. The monkey and the fox did as their friend asked. And when the fire was burning brightly, the rabbit said to the beggar, I don't have anything to give you. So I'll put myself in this fire, and when I'm cooked, you can eat me. The rabbit was just a goose. The rabbit was just about to jump into the fire when the beggar suddenly changed himself back to the old man of the moon. You're very kind, Mr. Rabbit, he said, but you should never do anything to harm yourself. Since you are the kindest of all, I'll take you home to live with me. And then the old man of the moon took the rabbit in his arms and carried him up to the moon. So, when you look at the moon, when it is shining brightly, you can still see the rabbit there, where the old man took him so long ago. The end. Isn't that cool? Right? A rabbit on the moon? Gee, tonight's moon is going to be a half moon, but the next time there's a full moon, take a look. So this is a picture of the full moon. Tell me, do you see the rabbit? No? What do you see? You see a rabbit, sort of like a rabbit. So, yeah, so the next time there's a full moon, check it out. What? There's a rabbit on the moon? Well, maybe that's why dogs like to howl at the moon. Do you like to howl at the moon? I like to howl at the moon. Oh, Barkley, you're such a rascal. I always saw a face on the moon, but now I'll look for the rabbit, just like in Japan. Barkley and Lucy, I'd like to thank you for being my Dharma buddies this past year and helping Sensei out with the children's Dharma story time. I couldn't do it without you. Well, hey, we know that, Sensei. You need us. And that's why I'm Barkley, the star of the show. And this here is Lucy the Ladybug, the love of my life. And let's thank our Dharma buddies around the world for being our friends and joining us every week. Mahalo, thank you, arigatou gozaimasu, gracias, merci, danke. We wish you all a great new year. Have fun, and just remember, be good. Not too much. We'll get that one of these days. So really, actually I was so surprised when I first went to Japan as an exchange student. I was in college, and everyone was saying, there's a rabbit in the moon. And I'm going, what? I see the face. Right? There's like 2 eyes and a mouth or something. But the Japanese will insist, there's a rabbit on the moon. And you know, the other thing that's interesting, is that your hand? Oh, make a rabbit if you're going to do that. There you go. Oh, there's a rabbit on the screen. Okay. Sorry, I was going to say something profound, but I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that's right. And particularly this time of year, the rabbit is making mochi on the moon. Did you know that? When we have a full moon, it looks like a mochi. So sometimes, look it up. Look at Japanese rabbit on the moon, and you'll see he's got one of those things, and he's pounding and making mochi.
Hi, Bunny, is eating mochi.
Yes, very good. Tell you what, why don't you stand on the seat, turn toward the camera, and say hello to everybody. Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's go on to the Dharma talk for adults. So good evening and welcome to the last service of 2022. So on New Year's Eve, we observe Joya no Kane, the Japanese Buddhist tradition of ringing the large temple bell. It's a bonsho. We don't have a bonsho here, but it's the real big one with its own roof and stuff. It takes many people to do it. So they ring the bell 108 times to remind us of the 108 blind passions. or bonno in Japanese. And these blind passions bind us as human beings to samsara, this world, this human world of egocentric confusion and delusion. Now, in Japan, on New Year's Eve, the sound of the temple bells ringing around one's neighborhood, across the city, and all throughout Japan is a very poignant reminder of reality as it is, the truth of impermanence, the insight that this moment is unrepeatable, that this life is unrepeatable. So what does it sound like? Let's see if I can get this to work. That'll give you, some of these pictures will give you an idea of what it looks like. That, by the way, is, this is Chi-onji, which is the mother temple for the Jodo mission. So the Jodo mission, that's the temples we have here. This is Honen's main temple, so it's called Chi-onji. So anyway, there are temples that have these really big bells, and they're really fun to hit. You can feel the vibration. There's a very famous expression or a saying in Japanese that translates as, the bell of the Gion temple tolls into every person's heart to warn them that all things are impermanent. And this is also why we, why we were hitting the bells 108 times. Because there's 108 bonno in Sanskrit called klesa. It's usually translated as blind passions, or defilements, or afflictions. So where does this number come from? Well, here's the whole list, which I won't read, but from the Jodo Shinshu introduction book, it says, in traditional Buddhist thought, people are thought to have 108 afflictions, or klesa, 108 blind passions. There are 6 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and consciousness, multiplied by 3 different reactions. You have a positive reaction, a negative reaction, or indifference, and no reaction. So that's 18 different feelings. Each of these feelings can either be attached to pleasure or detached from pleasure, making 36 passions, each of which may be manifested in the past, present, or future. So you multiply all those numbers together, you get 108. From a Jodo Shinshu perspective, blind passions is a comprehensive term, descriptive of all the forces, conscious and unconscious, that propel unenlightened people to think, feel, act, and speak, whether in happiness or sorrow, in such a way as to cause uneasiness, frustration, torment, pain, sorrow, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically for ourselves and others. So as you can see from the list, I'll just read the first line: egoism, ignorance, greed, hatred, wrath, quarrelsomeness. There is another one, it keeps going. So Buddhism makes this really detailed analysis of the blind passions. But the significance is understanding that it's our human nature that's rooted in this really fierce clinging to the self, which we think is our existence, and it's not. So in simple terms, so because we're born human, we insist upon living life as it's about me. It's about me. So when you really realize this truth about yourself, you see that the human condition itself, human existence, is nothing but these blind passions. And then to live, or wanting to live as an unenlightened being, is to manifest blind passions all the time. So regardless of what we may appear to be. So this is the whole point being that it's very hard to let go of these things. So in the Honganji tradition, awakening to your true human nature, your true self, this becomes the fate of changing. And the person who awakens to this reality has already been grasped by Amida's primal vow. So the tolling of the temple bell 108 times is both a reminder of our bonno. So our blind passions. But it also represents our aspiration, our wish, our dream, to cast off these blind passions, to awaken to reality as it is, to achieve enlightenment, to achieve a state of nirvana. And by doing this, your birth into the Pure Land is assured, and you're basically assured of becoming the Buddha. So the formal nenju that you see me using during these ceremonies, right, it's actually, we double it up so it's a double strand, but there are 108 beads on these nenjus. Traditionally, the smaller nenjus that you would use would be a multiple of that. The interesting thing about this one, right, is that half of the beads are black and half of the beads are clear, okay, which represents the fact that even though I'm an ordained priest, I still have bona. Everybody has bona. And in fact, there's a rule that says during ceremonies, we can't use one of these. Right? So you see that for this one, there's 108 beads, but this one, they're all clear. So the only person in the Jodo-Shinshu Honganji tradition who gets to use all clear beads is the Monshu, so Kojun Otani, so the chief priest of the Honganji. Everyone else, right, by regulation, we're required to remind ourselves, even though I am a formally ordained priest in this tradition, don't get a big head, right? Because I still have bona. And that's why we carry these things. So on today, this evening, on New Year's Eve, let's reflect deeply upon our own human nature, as was revealed to us during the pandemic conditions of 2022. Let's not forget that we too have these blind passions as unenlightened persons, as human beings. Right? So these blind passions drive us to think, feel, and act and speak, whether in happiness or sorrow, in such a way as to cause uneasiness, frustration, torment, pain, sorrow, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically for ourselves and others. So let the sound of the temple bell resonate in our hearts and minds, so that as each sound, each sound of the 108 strikes fades away, so will our stubborn, egocentric attachment to self and our bona will also fade away into the night. So let's put our palms together and bow our heads and say Namo Amida, entrusting in all-inclusive wisdom and the all-embracing compassion of Amida for the great enlightenment to come. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. I'd like to close, there's the different descriptions there. I'd like to close with the words of Shinran Shonin. In reflecting on the great ocean of Shinjin, I realized there is no discrimination between noble and humble, or black-robed monks and white-clothed laity. No differentiation between man and woman, old and young. The amount of evil one has committed is not considered. The duration of performance of religious practices is of no concern. It is a matter of neither practice nor good acts, neither sudden attainment nor gradual attainment, neither meditative practice nor non-meditative practice, neither right contemplation nor wrong contemplation, neither thought nor no thought, neither daily life nor the moment of death, neither many calling nor one's calling. It is simply Shinjin that is inconceivable, inexplicable, and indescribable. It is like the medicine that eradicates all poisons. The medicine of the Tathagata's vow destroys the poisons of our wisdom and foolishness. The words of Shinran Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu. So, thank you for coming to tonight's Joyaya's service. Let's conclude the service by singing Ondok-san and the Nembutsu. And also, don't forget, you could please don't forget to offer incense the last time in 2022. Also, you can bong the gong. There's one there, I'll bring the other one out. We can also, I also have the strikers for the 2 temple bells. So again, this is symbolically saying that I still have these oh no, I still have these blind passions because I'm only human. But it represents a wish and an aspiration that we can transcend them. So, if you will, please rise, and let's sing Ondok song, followed by So let's sit together quietly again for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. There's supposed to be a slide that says if you're really interested, you can come back at 11:30 or so, and I'll be ringing the temple bell 108 times. In theory, the last stroke will be at midnight. You also get a pretty good view of the fireworks around here, so if you want to come, it's okay. Tomorrow morning, I will be restarting the sunrise service at 6:30. I'll chant the Shoshinge at about 8:30 before the service, and then New Year's Day service will start at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's going to be followed by Ozoni, so the traditional mochi soup. And just to go through the schedule in January, so we have first Sunday on January 8th, although actually I'm not going to be here. And then Dharma Family Service. The Dharma School Fun Day is 1:30 on the 15th. Then we're going to have a major service, Ho'onko, Goshoki Ho'onko. This is the Shinran Memorial Service. And then January 29th is important service, installation of our officers and the annual general membership meeting. And so that's the end of the service. Everyone is now welcome to join us in the social hall, where we can have Toshikoshi soba, which is passing the year soba noodles, buckwheat noodles. Again, another Japanese tradition. And you cannot have New Year's Eve in Japan without at least one sip of sake. So we have some sake to get to. Minors, you're going to have to ask your parents if it's okay. But thank you again for joining the last service of 2022. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. So that's it. So everybody can ring the bells. So if you ever want to play with this one, you can give it a try. I mean, all of the